Hi, Diane. Can you hear me okay? Forgot to turn my microphone on for a moment there. Hardware here. Oh, I forgot my magnetic snap. Cool. I gotta find a magnetic snap. I forgot a magnetic snap. You know what? I can steal one from this one. That'll be fine. Hi, Coco. Okay, careful, girl. How was your week? I guess I just saw you on Tuesday. Hi, Irene. How are you? Irene, are you making the companion carpet bag with us? Are you just watching? Oh no, Diane. Is your brother-in-law okay? You know, you can email me anytime you need an ear, okay? I gotta find a way to move this thing out of the way. There we go. Hi, Coco. Good to hear it, Irene. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry, Diane. Hi, Kim. We're all here for you, Diane, if you need anything. I'm doing good, Irene. COVID is gone. Oh, I gotta get that little thing to stop swaying. It's my light switch. Little dangly thing here. It just wants to be in the way. Let's try that. Hi, Lauren. I'm sitting, I feel so short because I'm sitting in my lower chair here rather than my high chair. Hopefully the dogs behave because nobody's home. Brady's working. He has started working full time now, so unless Riley has the day off. Hi, Wanda. If everybody could let me know if you are sewing with me today or not, that would be great. You're gonna start cutting out the martini? Sounds good. We'll keep you company while you do that, while we do the carpet bag. I had to think about it. We are Thursday, right? Yes, we are. Hi, Dawn. You're sewing. Diane, are you sewing with us? You're sewing? Okay, perfect. Cheryl was sewing with us last week, so we'll see if she pops in. No problem, Lauren. If you start doing any of this over the next week and you need a hand, you know, you can always shout out to me. Facebook or email or whatever you need. Hi, Annie. How are you doing? Are you sewing or are you still working on your Brooklyns? Wanda's watching. You're cutting, so maybe next week? Perfect. Did you get your Brooklyns done? Time is it? It's only 4 o'clock now, so we'll give it a little more time. So this one's a pretty fast bag, so me just... Oh. There we go. Everybody's gone quiet on me. Nice. Good work, Annie. If you need a hand, you know what to do. You can always get a hold of me. And Annie, were you doing snowdrops as well? So I think I'm going to give it to the end of this month. I got to get those videos out by at least the end of the month, the Brooklyn and the snowdrop. So I feel so short. It's because I'm not sitting in my tall chair. And if I put the camera any lower, you're going to see how messy my floor is. Oh, nice, Kim. So I haven't made a large one. I'm not sure. Maybe I will one day. Coco says hi. Again, the dogs maybe. I have the door open because there is nobody home, so I got to keep an ear on the puppy. I left him alone for 5 minutes, and I left the bathroom door open, and in that 5 minutes, he managed to tear apart a whole toilet paper roll. What a mess. So that's what I was doing before coming in here, was cleaning up all that. Perfect, Annie. Okay, I will absolutely wait. I don't have enough snowdrop pictures, so your pictures will hopefully give me enough. Send me some pictures of the insides too, because I might have to get a little bit creative because I don't have enough pictures. Coco tends to make other dogs bark. Okay, Dawn. Oh, you're doing connectors, like your edge coating of the connectors? So we're going to start today. I'm going to do show you how I center the Deckable Heavy onto the bottom of the exterior piece. And then we're going to do the front magnetic slip pocket. And then we'll be doing connectors after that. Oh, and then after the slip pocket, then we will be attaching to foam. And then we will be doing the connectors. Oh, Kathy in Barbados. Oh, jealous for another week. Definitely enjoy that holiday. I said we probably won't do the video for this one until close to the end of February, so you got plenty of time to get your bag pictures in. But yeah, I'm jealous. How's the weather there? It's beautiful. Obviously, you just said it was beautiful, Kathy. Coco says hi. Oh, that sounds like somebody's coming to my door. I think... Why is there somebody parked outside my house? It's either Amazon or Brady's getting dropped off. Or somebody's just turning around. Somebody's just turning around, it looks like. Coco does not like it when people pull in our driveway. Or apparently park across the street. Oh, Kathy, you'll have to take video of that fabric store and share it in the Facebook group. We love fabric stores. Oh, Coco. Of course, that person's just going to sit in their car. I'm just looking out my window here at the street. Coco gets very territorial, which is okay. She's like my guard dog, so I'll let her. Okay, we'll give it till about 10 after or so. I'm hoping Cheryl pops in because she was sewing with us last week. By then, hopefully Coco will stop barking. Of course, the person just sitting in their car there, which just drives her crazy. Oh, and she's got Dexter going now. Listen to that. So we got Dexter's DNA test back. Oh my gosh. So we thought he was originally a lab and a husky cross, but it turns out he's a lab crossed with a coonhound and a Belgian Malinois, I think it said. So that's where he gets his colors. Coco is a coonhound. Now why is she barking? So, yeah. Now I'm thinking, I don't know. I'm going to close my door so they're quieter. Coco, Dexter, enough! Oh my gosh. Oh, the guy just got out of his car. What it is that car looks just like my car, so they automatically think that Dave's home. But he's gone in the house now, so that's good. So yes, Dexter, it's funny because Dave said he would never ever get another coon hound. Coco is our second coon hound, but they're a lot of work, as you can tell. And then we got Dexter, and he's half coon hound. I'm happy. They're my favorite dogs. So, but that explains his coloring. We thought maybe there might have been some Rottweiler in there, but it's black and tan coon hound, which is really cool. Give it another 2 minutes. Hopefully Cheryl will pop in. Oh, Wanda, you have cut and interfaced the carpet bag, so you are going to be sewing along with us then. Oh, you said you were just watching today, but you have cut and interfaced it. Gotcha. I'm always worried when the chat goes quiet that I've lost the chat again. So I'm just going to refresh my screen here just to make sure, like what happened in November. I'm guessing just nobody's talking. There we go. Wanda's just watching from her couch. Oh my goodness, you don't have me on a big screen TV, do you? I'm going to plug in my phone here. Dave's taking me out on a hot date after this, meaning we're probably going to Red Robin and Costco. Alrighty. Shall we get started? Is everybody ready? Just clear off my table here a little bit. All right. Split table. Oh, let me fix the light on that. There we go. Still there? Perfect. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do, and I'm doing a new thing. I don't have a paper pattern. I'm trying to save on paper this year. I have my iPad over here, which I got for Christmas. So I'm trying to read the pattern off of my iPad. So when you see me looking this way, it's because I am reading that pattern. Okay. So we are going to start with, of course, I was bad. I didn't trim my interfacings down. So I'm going to quickly clean that up. And then we're going to start with our magnetic snaps. Let me just quickly... I almost completely forgot to do my interfacing part. I did everything else, and then like half hour before class, I'm like, oh my gosh, I forgot to do my interfacing. So just, okay, got that all cleaned up. It's fabulous. Fabulous seeing me that big. I'm so sorry. All right. So we're going to need our 2 pocket pieces and a magnetic snap with the washers. Come on out. Come on out. Okay. Oh, I got an extra washer. Sweet. Feels like a score when you get extra backings or whatever. Okay, I'm just going to use my little magnet thing here so I don't lose anything. All right. So, what we want to do first is we are going to, actually I'm going to grab, you're also going to want to have scraps of heavy stabilizer for behind the posts. So what we want to do first is find our top and bottom centers. So fold them in half, Find your center. Then I don't always trust that, so I always measure it just to double check. So again, I'm doing the small, so it's 10 inches across, and I'm right at the 5, which is perfect. Everybody is doing the small with me who's sewing with me, right? I think so. Same with the exterior slip pocket piece. Find your centers. And Wanda, I watch YouTube on my big TV too. I just don't watch myself on the big TV. I hate watching myself. Oops, that top one didn't snip very well. Again, you don't have to use scissors. You can just go ahead and use a pen mark if you like. Okay. All right, so the lining side, where's my little ruler? We want to go, just let me double check. We want to measure from that center point 1 inch down. So 1 inch down, and I'm using my 4-inch ruler here, so I'm just using my 2 as my center. Measuring from the top 1 inch down, and I'm putting a dot. And that is where, so that should be 1 inch centered, and it is, and that is where we are going to install the male side of our snap. So I'll put the rest away. Got my piece of Decoville Heavy. So I'm going to use my washer as my guide. I'm sure you guys all know how to do this. Put my dot in the middle. That's where my slits are going to be. I'm also going to grab my fray check and cut those slits out. Oh, I have my blade installed funny. Oh well, it'll do the trick still. And little slits, a little bit of fray check. And then also, before I put the washer on, I'm going to measure it on my piece of Decoville Heavy here, or Peltex, or whatever you want to put behind it. The reason we do this behind, say, rivets, and this is if the fabric stretches, it won't pop through, or if the fabric is a little bit, say, weak, this just makes it so it'll stay in place. Okay, that guy's just coming back to his car, so Coco's going to have a little hissy fit again. We'll just ignore her. And go ahead and install. Oh, might help if I put my slits in. She's a good guard dog, though, I swear. And then put my washer to the back of that. And then I use the end of my table just to close my washer, or my prongs. Now, I don't know, I always close mine inwards. I know some people do them outwards. I don't know which way is the best way to do it, but inwards works for me. And then I always just take my mallet, bang it a little, and then I put some duct tape or Gorilla Tape over top. I like the Gorilla Tape because I can get it in white. I'm sure you can get duct tape in white as well, but I'll just put it over the prongs like that. The other magnetic snap we can put aside for now. All right. So I'll give everybody a minute to finish that. So you let me know when you're all done, and then we will move on to the next step. I'm just going to grab my carpet bag over here. So for this one, I decided to keep the rolled straps on, mainly because I didn't want to waste this hardware. I used some Loctite in there and I can't get my screws off, so this one's just staying as is, but this one I'm doing with the flat straps. So what we're making right now is this pocket right here. Okay, so everybody let me know when you're done that. Give it about 4 minutes or so. I gotta grab my nameplate because we're doing that next. Forgot parts of my hardware. You being a bad girl? No more barking, Cocoa Beans. All right. Diana's ready. I think Dawn is going to catch up because she's doing her straps or her connectors. So we will move on. Okay, so now on the pocket piece, Diane, are you doing a nameplate? So everybody's measurements for nameplate is going to be slightly different, and my mark isn't centered because our nameplates are all different sizes. So I'll tell you where I'm going to put mine, and you can decide where you want to put yours. Dawn's done. Perfect. So I'm just making sure my bottom is centered as well, my snip, and it is. So I want my nameplate to be nice and centered on there as well. So I'm trying to remember where I put my nameplate on this one. Okay, so I want to put my nameplate about 1 1/4 inches up. Maybe I want to go a little higher. I'm going to go 1 1/2 inches. She'll go 1 1/4, and I'm going to put it right on top of that line. No, 1 1/2, 1 1/4. So you want to take into account what your seam allowance is down here. What is our seam allowance? I believe it's 3/8 with this. Let me double check. Working with so many patterns, I can never remember. Unless, yes, we're 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. Okay. So you got to think, you'll be folding down about 3/8, and where do you want? Okay, so I'm actually going to go up. I am going to do 1 1/2 inches up. Mark that center, so I just do my lines. So I got my center mark here and there, using my erasable pen. And I am going to center this right on top of that line there. So go ahead and put your nameplate on. 1, 2, 3. I know exactly where mine goes. Now, because I am using upholstery fabric, I'm definitely going to use spray check. And if you decide you prefer it, like I like my nameplate on the bottom of this, but you could always put it up here if you wanted to as well. So place it where you want to place it. This is just where I like to place it for this bag. But really, you can place it wherever you like. Come on, free check. There we go. Let's stick it through. And because I don't have much for interfacing back here, my prongs, I want it to be nice and tight. I'm just taking a little scrap of foam and sticking it on the prongs, and it just kind of gives it a little bit more girth for my washer to set on. Usually we would be putting this on the main panel, which would already have foam or a heavier interfacing, but because this is the pocket, it doesn't have the foam. Make sure that's nice and straight. Press it down. Are we straight? So there's nothing worse than a crooked nameplate, so I can push it up this way a little bit. Check. There we go. Oh no, do you have a white marking pen you can maybe use? What color pen are you using? And then again, I put some double-sided, or not double-sided tape, Gorilla tape or duct tape on the back of those prongs too. Oh, that would be nice too, Wanda. Yes, put your nameplate wherever you want to put it. Can't remember. Oh, right, Dawn, you're using that cheetah print. Was that for this one or was that for the martini? I can't remember. Okay. All right. Let me know when you have your nameplates on, and we will move on. Oh, it's funny, in the instructions it actually says to add a piece of foam stabilizer behind and cover with a small piece of duct tape. Maybe Swoon's what taught me how to do that. I sometimes tend not to read the pattern. I just look at the pictures and go for it, but okay. Oh, that's right. Okay. Try to unclutter my camera space on you guys. Ooh, I'm gonna knock over stuff here. Trying to make it so that my workspace isn't quite as busy as I'm seeing on the camera. So give it another 2 minutes or so. Any questions so far? Wanda says, Dawn, I sometimes use painter's tape on my fabric so I can see my markings. So that's a good idea, because that's really easy to pull away too. Give it 1 more minute. Oh my goodness. Wow. So $10,000 or $10,000, 10,000 subscriber giveaway is going to be coming up probably in February. So all of my bag making community business friends are sending me what they will donate for prizes. And yeah, Lauren's just messaging me now. Oh, she's generous. Feeling the love. Diana's ready. Okay, so we're going to move on. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take this lining piece and the exterior piece, and we're going to put them right sides together, and we are going to clip it along the side. I can already see how bad my cutting was, or else I shrunk something, but it'll all work out. Just line it up against this top edge here. All right, and then we're going to sew across here with a 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. So I'm just going to flip you guys over to Tiffany. For some reason, my camera settings don't hold. Every time I change my camera, I have to change the settings so it's nice and bright. It's really annoying. All right. Now you guys are going to see the sign that's in my most recent tutorial I'm doing. That will be coming out on Monday. It's a gooder. Right, so sew across with a 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. Just like that. Oh good, it kept my setting. You like my dynamite? And then what we want to do is I'm actually going to take this to my iron quickly and do it But you want to press these wrong sides together like so. So go ahead and do that as well. And then we'll move on once everybody is there. So I'm just going to hop on over to my iron and do that. I don't know if you guys can still see me over here in that little window, but if you're doing this with your iron, only iron it if you aren't using vinyl. I have to be very careful not to get my my duct tape on my iron here. I have to wait for it to heat up a little more. Can you guys hear me okay when I'm over here? Hope so. So when I'm doing this with cloth like I'm doing, or like a fabric, I sometimes find it you get a nice crisp fold over if you first iron the seams open and then fold them wrong sides together. Come on. I forgot to turn my steam on, so it's not giving me any steam. That's okay. Okay. No issues at all? Okay. So you can see that my lining is a little bit longer. I don't know if that is due to how I cut it, but it's good width-wise, which is what we want. I'm just going to go and trim my lining to be the same as my exterior. I don't know if this part shrunk up a little bit or if I just cut that too big, but it's all good. Here we go. So everybody let me know when you're there. Yeah, that dynamite sign. My parents keep finding these signs at Value Village and thrift stores, so they grab. I have like a whole shelf of them over here. I'll give you guys another couple minutes to get there. Diana's ready. Give Dawn another minute or so. I'm listening to sounds upstairs. I think Dexter has one of... Oh, Coco doesn't like him playing with that. Dexter has one of those toys that sounds like, you know, a squishing water bottle, and that's what I'm hearing. But Coco really likes that toy, and she's not happy with him playing with it right now. I swear, it's like being a mother to a toddler again. With a jealous teenage daughter at the same time. Now they're going to yell at each other a little bit. I'm going to close my door. Noisy, noisy dogs. They're not killing each other, so it's okay. All right. That wasn't I just saying to make sure you don't touch the duct tape with the iron? Oh my goodness. Oh, I hope you didn't wreck your iron, Dawn. Okay, so we are going to now top stitch across here with 1/8 of an inch seam allowance, and then just go ahead and baste all the way around here just to bring this all into one piece. Yay, it kept my lighting. It's my first time using this color thread. I was excited that I actually had something to use it on. Of course, I didn't bring my phone over here to watch the chat because my phone is almost dead. Oh, it smells good, Dawn. Burnt duct tape. Hilarious. I didn't check mine. I'm going to tighten it a little bit. I didn't check my tension beforehand, so that's better. Because you want to make sure it looks good on both sides, because you can see this side was, yeah, it's all good. Okay, and once you've done that top stitch along the top, go ahead and baste with an 1/8 inch seam allowance the other sides around. One thing with using this upholstery fabric, I'm starting to fray, so I actually want to get it sewn up fast so I don't have that fraying problem once I get everything into the seams. Okay, so this is what we have and what it looks like so far. So let me know once you get there. Now, one thing we're going to go different than the pattern next is we are not going to install the magnetic snap in the same order that it does it on here. And you will see why in a moment. Okay, now I believe one of these had a snag in it, which is what I want. Yeah, that's what I want to use. Dawn is done. Give Diane a couple minutes. Again, I'm just cleaning up my interfacing that I didn't trim out. Done. Perfect. Okay. So now take your exterior front piece. We want to find that top and bottom center. Again, I would be smart if I did this when I was actually cutting out my pieces, but you know me, I never do. Okay, and then double check that they are definitely centered. Seven and a half. Yep. Yep, I'm looking good. Dawn, just work with it. Trust me, this one's fraying a little bit. This is Galaxy Customs upholstery, but upholstery fabric does fray. You can see mine is there. But once we get it into that seam, it'll be fine. Or even go around with some fray check just around the edges, just to kind of try to glue them in place. Okay, so we're not installing this pocket just yet. What we want to do is find the markings for our female snap to put on this. Now, we could go by the measurements in the pattern, but I always find no matter what pattern I do, I can never get them to match up. So this is the way I do it to make sure they will match up perfectly. So I'm going to put this on, matching up my centers. Just like we were going to go to base this on already, place your pocket on and clip it in place, but we're not going to be sewing it yet. Oh, another one bites the dust. I just totally threw that on my floor and instead of in the garbage. Wonder why my floor is such a disastrous mess. Look centered. I'm doing that again. I don't know. So you want to make sure that this is going to be centered exactly where we want it to be. So I'm just going to measure down. I'm just making sure that it's the same all the way across where this pocket is. This will make sense in a moment, I promise you. The fray check's a good idea, Dawn? I thought so. Okay. So once you have this in place somewhat, we are going to be taking this all apart here in a moment. We just want to have this placed where we are going to have it placed. Now, you want to fold down this here now that we have it all placed where we want it to be, and take some chalk, or I'm using a friction pen that'll go away eventually, and I'm just going to put right on the nub of that male snap. I'm just kind of saturating it in something that will wash away, a disappearing pen. So once you have that saturated and you let it flop down and then you push down on it like this, it transfers that mark from there to there, and that will be exact perfect placement of our female side of our snap. So you can see my dot there. So now I'm going to take this apart, and that is where I'm going to go and install the female side of my magnetic snap. That's a good idea too, Wanda, to zigzag the fabric that frays. That would be good. Okay, so once you have that mark, go ahead and install the female side, just like we did with the male side. This is how I do all my magnetic snaps for the female side, because I just find it could just be a me thing. When I follow instructions, it never lines up for me. I hope you're not seeing the top of my head too much. Okay. Recheck. Oh, Dawn, you did the zigzag and it's still fraying? Oh my goodness. We just need to get those seams worked in then. There we go. Okay. Any questions so far? And I'm backing this with a piece of heavy stabilizer. You can do foam, you can do... I cut up all my scraps of Decovil Heavy or Peltex. I don't waste anything, and that's what I use. Come on. And then put some duct tape on that. Just like that. So let me know when you get there and we will move on in about 3 minutes or so. And I'm going to put this back with, I stole this from the martini bag. Oh my goodness, my fingers will stay in there. Oh my goodness, cocoa beans. Joys of having dogs, I tell ya. So now we should have our slip pocket piece with the male snap and then our female snap on our main piece. I'm really pleased with how well this is matching with this, the gold and the gold. Isn't it so pretty? I got a hair hanging down. How are we making out? Give it another minute or so. Dawn is done. Give Diane another minute or so. Oh, she's getting closer. She's coming down the stairs. Now she's yelling at Dexter, I think. I think she misses Benny some days because Benny was so old. All he did was sleep. as I look down to where he used to sleep. I miss that dog. Okay, so now what we're going to do is you're going to snap that magnetic snap into place. Like so. Once again, make sure, where is it? It's nice and straight. From the pocket to this, it's all even across there. And I am. And you're going to put that in place. Oh, the door's opening. Hi, Coco. Okay, and once it's placed where you want it to be, you're going to go ahead and we're going to baste the pocket onto this exterior right there. So we'll go ahead and do that right now. So I'm looking away from the chat for a moment. I'm going to move this camera out of the way. Okay, and I'm going to flip this over and I'm going to see that I'm a little bit off kilter for some of these for the lining, so I'm just going to go and trim them up so they are the same. Oh, my tummy's growling. Okay, so let me know when you're all done with that, and then we will move on to the bottom. I think I lost my lighting. Let me fix it. I did. That's better. You can set that aside for now. Excuse me. Diane is ready. Done another minute or so. Okay, so next what we want to do is we want to take our exterior gusset piece and we want to find the centers of the long and the short ends. So fold them right sides together or wrong sides together, doesn't really matter. Mark or snip your centers on all four sides. You're going to do the exact same thing with your deckable heavier Peltex piece. Now, are Dawn and Diane, are you both using a fusible heavy interfacing? Oh, Coco. Because when we go to place this, if you're not using a fusible, if you cut a piece of medium woven interfacing just slightly bigger, you can fuse this down on the exterior and then take that woven interfacing that's bigger and then fuse it so this sticks to it. I didn't even grab my purse feet. My goodness, I don't have any of my ducks in a row today. Okay, and definitely make sure that those are centered, because our gusset is working as our bottom and as our 14 3/8. Not quite centered there. Just slightly off. There we go. A bit. Do the same on your heavy stabilizer. Find your 4 centers. And this is how I always make it so my stabilizer always ends up being centered onto the bottom of a gusset bag, where the bottom actually works as your bottom as well, where there's not a separate bottom panel. You can do it however you like. I'm just showing you how I like to do it. So once you've done that, what I like to do is take my pen, and those center marks, I'm going to draw lines between them. So we're going to be making a big T kind of down. Whoops, that didn't work. Oh, I'm suddenly very, very warm. Wow. Okay, and then same on the non-glued side. So on the side that doesn't have the glue on it, you want to do on your heavy stabilizer as well, and match up those centers. Just like that. Let me close that door again. Coco, that is enough, girl. I'm going to steal the purse feet from this one. So Diane, you don't have a fusible one. So what I would suggest, what we're going to end up doing is matching up these lines like so. And once we've matched up this line and these lines, then it's centered. So Diane, you can either go ahead and you can have a nice decorative bottom and just like 1/8 of an inch away from the stabilizer, sew that in place. Just make sure that your bobbin thread looks nice, because it'll show on this side. Or take a piece, do I have some scrap stuff here? It's not quite big enough. Take some medium woven interfacing and cut it big enough that it's like, I don't know, 1/4 of an inch bigger than what the interfacing the heavy stabilizer is. And then when you go to fuse it all around these edges, it's going to hold it in place. Or you can use tape, that works too. All right, so I'm going to just take this to the iron, make it nice and centered, and I'm going to fuse that in place. And doing those center lines, I think it just helps center things nicely. We're going to be having purse feet on here as well, so that's going to hold it in place too. And I'm going to turn my iron off because I don't need it anymore. Release my machine. Okay. All right, so let me know when you are to that point. While I look for a purse feet placement. So I jump all over the place. There it is. Okay. Hi, Anna. You're going to do that as well, Diane? It just helps secure it in place a little bit more, I find. Again, everything is kind of just showing you what works for me. How's Anna today? Working hard? Excuse me. Oops. It's about 3 minutes or so to finish that up. I'm going to sit down and get off my feet for a little bit while I wait. You have a very furry dog, Anna. Yes, you're brushing Duke. Does he like to be brushed? Now both the dogs are very quiet. I don't know whether to be worried about that or be relieved. One thing about being home alone. Diana's ready with bribery. Hilarious. Okay, so now we are going to do our purse feet placement. So I know we're all doing the small. If anybody watching this later and you're doing the large, make sure you look at the measurements in the pattern for where you will be placing your purse feet. Now the neighbor's home, so Coco's letting us know. So what we want to do is from this center mark here to the left, we want to measure 3 inches in and 1 1/4 inches up from the straight edge of our vinyl. Not from this, but of the edge of the vinyl here. So 3 inches from this center line, 1 1/4 inches up. And then right at that point, put a dot. That's going to be one of your purse feet. You can do the same on this other side. 3 inches from the center, 1 1/4 inches up from this, the bottom of the vinyl, the long edge, and do a dot. And do the same on the other side. 3 inches, 1 1/4. And then go ahead and install your purse feet at those marks. All right. So I just do a little slit right at those dots. Just a little one, just enough that's going to accommodate your prongs. Or if you got the rivet kind, go ahead and do that, or the screw-in kind, whatever kind of purse feet you have. And then try to find them on this side. This vinyl, there it is. This vinyl makes it very hard to see when I've made a slit. So this would also help hold if you didn't have a fusible heavy stabilizer in as well, but I definitely would also use a woven over top of that. I always get my Decibel Heavy and my Peltex in fusible. Okay. Then once you have those in, I like to give them like a little, just a little quarter turn. Oh my goodness. I have a feeling Brady might be home. This time of day, I swear. I put my washers on. Dexter does not have a hound bark. He's a lab bark. He can get a good awoo or a howl in for sure though. Okay, so you got those in. So I like to flip it over and just kind of get them a good press down. And then I like to put duct tape on either side of that as well. So give everybody about 5 minutes to get that done. And then we'll move on. Oh, look, good thing I bought another roll because I just came to the end of this one. Oh, let go of me. There we go. Just kind of swish it around to make it so it sticks good. Okay, so 3 or 4 minutes, and then we will move to the next step. Where are you? Meanwhile, I'm going to clean up my interfacing while I wait. I am so sorry for the dogs, everyone. But, you know, that's just part of it. I can't help it. It's part of working from home with no dog babysitter. Another 2 minutes or so. Ready for what we're going to do next. My workspace gets so messy so fast. It tickled my throat. Tickle, tickle. Not the fisherman's friend. How's everybody making out? Everybody still there? So my fussy cutting wasn't as good with this one, but close enough. Still looks good. You can just see where my pocket starts with this one. Another minute. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we are going to attach our foam interfacing to these 3 exterior pieces. So I have my Pretty in Pink soap foam here, my favoriteest soap foam ever, and I like to always cut mine. I just put it on top of my foam and I go for it. And I use my pieces as my template. So go ahead and cut all of your foam, or baste all your foam onto these 3 pieces, your front and back mains, and your gusset piece. Doing it with your rotary cutter like me, make sure you don't cut your fingers off. I've done it before. Still have a scar on my finger. Do it from this way. So I'm going to clip all of mine first, and then I will take them, all three of them, to the machine together. I believe in the pattern they have the foam outside of the seam allowances. So I'll leave it to your discretion if you're wanting to do that or to trim back the foam. I'm not going to worry about it. As I said, I'm on the industrial, so the thickness will be fine for me. Bottom piece done. Do that on the right side? Yeah. Wrong ones. Anna, what are you working on tonight? Are there any questions so far? We're almost to a thinking part. Lucky us. Oh, I guess Anna's working on brushing her dog. She said that already. That's where I'm lucky my dogs don't have long fur. Well, Dexter doesn't yet. I don't think he will. That's that one done. One more. Oh, that's the wrong side. Should get on the right side of that one. I have a bin of my scrap foam. I really need to just get rid of it. Or make a dog bed and fill it with the scrap foam, maybe. That might be an idea. Then it doesn't go to waste. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and baste this foam onto these pieces. Alrighty. I'm going to move my sign because I know my thing is going to knock it down. Dogs are too quiet, and I'm a little worried. It's a good idea, Anna. Yeah. May as well fill a dog bed with it, right? Okay, guess it done. One more. Darn bobbin. Oh no, Dawn. Ah, flying clips everywhere. You know what's really great about this bag, guys, is we don't have to top stitch it in the end because the frame holds everything in place. Upholstery fabric feels weird to work with. It's so rough compared to the fabric. It looks great though. But I would definitely want to get that gusset sewn on because it's so frayy. I missed a spot. Again. Okay. Okay, and this is where I'm just going to show you if you want to trim the foam back. You can go with the scant 1/4 inch seam allowance. I did it on part of it here, and you see how you can pull this back and reveal part of the vinyl. So you can go in and you can clip that excess off by pulling it up and kind of cutting it with your scissors flat like so. I think Brady's home now, maybe? I don't know. So, but I'm not going to do this. But you can see how it just kind of makes it less bulky in the seam allowance. We call that the Anna method. If I'm using thicker vinyls, I definitely do that, but I'm just using a Mora, so it's not too bad for me at all. Okay, so let me know when you're done that, and then we're going to move on to the tricky part. Give you guys about 8 minutes or so to finish that up. Where's my other one? 4. goodness, cocoa beans. Oh, I didn't give you guys a face view of me. Sorry. There we go. Diane's ready to go. Wow, that was fast. How are you doing there, Dawn? Diane, you're like keeping up with me sewing. That's great. I think Dawn would have too if she hadn't run out of bobbin. There it is. Just about done. Okay. Let us know when you're ready and then we will get started. Oh, so Diane, oh yes, you're making connectors. And John, you're using metal connectors, correct? So Don, because you're using metal connectors, I am going to move ahead with Diane right now to show how we're going to prep our vinyl connectors. Okay, and then by the time you're done, we can work on the placement. So what we want to do, I'm trying to decide how much I want to. So you want to have at least an inch hanging over the back when we go to fold these under. So on the right side, Diane, of each of the connectors, I'm going to draw a 1-inch line. So I think that'll be good for me. Yeah. You want to make sure you have 1 inch or more hanging when we go to fold this down, hanging down here, because when we go to sew it across, we want to be able to catch it. Oops. Does that make sense? Oh, you changed your mind, Dawn? Okay. Okay. So let me know once you have your lines drawn. So all of us were probably using different connectors here, so you will have to kind of eyeball what you think. For me, I know that I'm going to be sewing across here. See where my pointy sections are? So that's where I know when this is around here, I want to make sure that when I'm sewing across, I'm catching this. I didn't do that in my video, and I had to sew really close to my hardware to catch it. So, okay, so then flip those over to the wrong side, and on the wrong side, I'm going to take some double-sided tape. Double-sided tape or some glue. You can always use clips too if you prefer. I just prefer, oh, this is too thick of tape. One sec, I meant my skinnier tape. And what we want to do is put them across this top edge here. On the wrong side of them all. But again, you can use clips to hold it in place if you don't want to use the double-sided tape. It's completely up to you. The double-sided tape for the next step really does help, and it won't affect if your machine doesn't like it or not, because you won't be sewing through it. You won't really be sewing through this either. So, okay, so you got the double-sided tape on the back. You're going to flip these back over, take off the paper from the tape. Take your rectangular ring, put it to that line, and then fold it over at that line and use that tape to secure that in the back. So it's like so. and do that with all 4. D-ring should be okay. You'll still be able to put your straps on the D-rings. I've used D-rings in a pinch before too. Just do it the exact same way we're doing now. D-rings or O-rings would work just fine. And then you just want to make sure they're all relatively the same size to make sure they're folded over the same, and mine are. So let me know when you're to that point. So my goal today is to get 2 of the connectors onto the front panel and the gusset sewn to the front panel, and then homework is going to be the other 2 connectors on the back panel and sewing the other side of the gusset. And then we should be able to finish the bag up next week, hopefully. Okay, so now that you have those on the back, flip them over. And you're just going to put a small piece of tape. You want to make sure it's not going to be where you're going to be top stitching. So you're either going to be top stitching in the exact same stitches that we did when we made these. I'm actually going to go a little bit in, and I'm going to go within 1/8 of an inch seam allowance inside and stitch it in there, and I think it's going to be really pretty, and it'll hold down still good. But you don't really want the tape to fall in that if your machine doesn't like tape. My machine will go through the tape, so I'm not too worried about it on mine, but this truly, the tape truly does help sew these on, because it's going to hold them in place while we sew, because especially if you're using vinyl, you can't pin them in, right? Oops, that's too high. Okay, now the tricky part. So actually not quite, we've got one more step to go. And then once you have that done, we're going to go back. Now Brady's home. Hi, Brady. And we're going to draw our, I'm going to actually take my pen. We're going to draw where we're going to be drawing across, or sewing across as a guide. So depending on where your connector is, you want to decide where to do it. You just got to make sure that it's going to be catching this back panel. So mine has little points here. So I'm going to make it so my line goes across those points. So I'm going like 1/2 inch down and drawing my line. Actually, I might go a little further in. So you can decide where you want that line to be. I'm actually going 5/8 of an inch because I want it to go right across there. Right across there. And this is mainly just a guide for when we're going and stitching these in place. If you think you can eyeball it, definitely do that. Oh, Nicole, you're forgiven. We won't send you to detention today. I'm glad you could join us anyways. I like that, oh my heck, you forgot class. We'd only been talking about it all today when we were in our admin chat. Okay. So let me know when you're there, and then we will discuss placement. This is the tricky part, and you're going to have to use your best judgment based on your connectors you chose to do. Where is my pattern piece? Okay. And how's Nicole today? We actually have quite a few of us in here today. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 people out of a class of 25. That's pretty good. Okay. Oh, Diane is ready. Whereabouts are you, Dawn? I'm going to show you how I mark up my pattern piece here. And I wish I'd done this in the tutorial. It would have been smarter, but I didn't. So we're going to do it in the class. Okay, so you're going to take your pattern piece. Now, if you're using the diamond strap anchor as per the pattern, you would just cut this piece out of the pattern piece, place it down on here, and then mark that that's where you are going to place your diamond strap connector. But because we're using 1 inch measurement or 1 inch strap connectors that we have made, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this pattern piece here. Can you guys see that? And you can see where the prong placement is for the diamond strap connector. So I know that that's nice and centered, and from that to that is 1 inch, which is what we want. Okay, so now in between these lines, we want to draw that center line. So we know that these are a 1/2 inch apart. So in between those, we're going to draw a 1/4 inch up from these bottom where the prongs are on the strap connector, and draw a 1 inch line like so. Okay, I'm hoping this works. And then you're going to go ahead and you are going to cut that 1 inch line, and you'll see why here momentarily. So we end up having that 1 inch line. Okay, so Diane, let me know when you're there. I think it's going to work good. Again, and you're going to end up having to play with it from here on, but I'll show you where this is going to give us a baseline for what we're going to do. I already know I'm going to have to readjust mine, but it all depends on the connector you chose and how big it is. So let me know when you're ready. I'm going to sneeze. Oh, goodness. Okay, you ready? Okay, now, I'm not saying this is going to be a perfect placement, but it's going to give us an idea. So we're going to put our pattern piece down like so. And along that 1 inch line we just cut, I'm going to take my erasable pen and draw a line. And that's going to give us an idea, can you see that line? Of where this is going to go. Now, this is the front of my bag, so I want to choose the connectors I like the most because they will be seen. These two aren't bad. What we're going to do is this, right where it folds over, now I already know I'm going to have to move mine up, but we know that's going to have to be the placement of it right there. But I want my connector to be above. So what I'm doing is kind of putting it along that where that mark is, and I'm moving it up straight, like so, until I'm just above that pocket. And then I'm going to draw a line right there, so I know that's where I want to place it. I went up quite a bit higher, so I know that that's like a 1/2 inch higher than what this was. All we want to make sure is that this is going to be far enough out of the 3/8 of an inch seam allowance here. So I'm going to go ahead and take my tape off. I'm happy with that placement. And I am going to stick it down to that top line. Again, use your best judgment depending on your connector and how you want it to look. If you don't mind it being down in there, go for it. But I want mine to be, mine's about 1/4 of an inch above, maybe even just a little less. No, it's about 1/4 of an inch above. Oops. But that line that we drew just gives us an idea where we want it to be placed away from this side, because we want to think we need a 3/8 of an inch seam allowance in here. And then you're going to do the same on the other side. Does that make sense? So this is just how my brain works when modifying a pattern. So I'm going to draw that line again, and then I know I went up about 1/2 inch, so I'm going to draw that 1/2 inch up and put my other one there too. Nice and evenly. And then you can eyeball it and see if you need to move it around or make it straight. 1/4 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch, like that. And I think that's going to be good placement. So that gives me, when this is down 3/8 of an inch, I have plenty of space. I should be good. Do the same from the top. This one I think can come up just a smidgen more. So we want them to be quite even. I'm happy with that. Does that make sense, what I just did there? Let's see how close I got it to what I had here. Pretty darn close. So in between these ones I had And then what you're going to do is you're going to take this to the machine, and you're either going to follow the stitching we did when we made the connector and then across that line. I'm actually going to go 1/8 inch into the connector from that line, and I'm going to have a double row of stitching and go across and down. Just make sure you are actually catching that part we folded down in the back, okay? So go ahead and do that. You're going to do the exact same thing with the back piece, but this will be for homework, but you don't have the pocket to worry about, but you got to make sure the measurements are the same as this. So you're going to use that pattern piece, like for mine, I'll mark that mark, and then from that mark, I'm going to move it 1/2 inch up, and then that's where I'm going to install that. So is that helpful? Does that make sense? I hope so. So yeah, so the other connectors on the back side you will do for homework, and we are going to go ahead and stitch these ones on because I want to do a gusset today as well. Get some Tiffany. All right. All right. So I'm actually going to pull my threads long because I don't want to have a build-up of stitches, and I'm going 1/8 of an inch above that other line that I did, and I'm going to just follow that around. So I'm going to have an extra line, or you can go and just go right over top of the other stitching if you want to. Completely up to you. You're going to see me do a lot of hand cranking because that's what I do, because I like it to look as perfect as possible, and I have more control over it then. I'm just following that line of stitching. That's good. Pivot it around. Ooh, that's going to look nice. Across that line. protect my hardware here. I always do my connectors very slow because they are such a focal point. Ooh, this is gonna look so nice. I like my choice. Oops, I forgot to pull this thread out so I can tie it off. So I'm just pulling my top thread through from the start one and then making sure my needle lands in my starting stitch. And then I will tie them off in the back. So really the connectors are the most tedious part of this. Where is my lighter? Lighter, there it is. There we go. I'm gonna do the other side. See, you guys, how does that look? Doesn't that look nice? And it caught that back, which is what I needed it to do. And we will put a rivet in there to hold it even further. Okay. A little further. You know, my knee lift has squeaked since day one. No matter how much I oil it, it just likes to squeak. It's Tiffany's voice. So in here, put my thread to the back. Make sure my needle lands in that first stitch again to make a nice and flawless line. You can backstitch there. You don't have to do it like I'm doing it, of course. And then once you're done that, go ahead and put rivets where you want your rivets to hold your connectors in place. And then we'll move to the gusset. What are we doing for time? It's going to be perfect timing. We've got 20 minutes left. We can definitely get half of that gusset on. Okay. I'm going here. So that's what that stitching was. I love the way the stitching looks. And you can see it flops up here, but it's okay because it's pretty on the other side. It's still going to hold tight. I just thought having the two lines of stitching would be really pretty. And now I'm going to decide where I want to put those rivets and do them quickly. So I'm going to do a rivet right in the middle, there, and I'm going to do one here as well, I think. I want to do one there? Yes, I do. There'll be room for rivet? Yeah, there is. And one right above the line. So that's where I've decided to do my rivet placement. Coco's crying outside my door. But you can do your rivet placement wherever you like. Okay. So go ahead and install those in now. You changed the zipper foot? I had enough space that I could clear it, but yes. Okay. So I'm going to put my rivets in, and then I'm going to move to the gusset. I don't know if that went through. I might have to use my hand one. Sometimes that doesn't go all the way through. I'm going to use my hand one. Yeah, that'll work better. Coco's crying, but I know if I let her in, she's going to bark. And Brady's home, so I don't have to let her in. So I'm also going to back my rivets with some scraps of Decaville Heavy. Sorry for the crying hound dog. We need to sing that song, the Elvis song. Ain't nothing like a hound dog, crying all the time. Sorry, I'm not the best singer. You like the double row stitching, Wanda? Yeah, I think it's nice with those connectors. Again, you do have that 1/4 of an inch of this hangover here where it can kind of flip up, but I think it's fine. I mean, you can, when you make your connectors, you can always stitch them at a 1/4 inch in, but then you don't get these edges flush enough to be able to edge paint them. So it's always one of those, do I do it or do I not do it situations. Okay, I gotta find my rivets. Coco, that's enough, baby. I am so not organized today, guys. I'm so sorry. Where are my rivets? Oops. Oh, I moved everything around. Where are my antique brass rivets? Where are my antique brass rivets? They're missing. Huh. I don't know where they went. Don't mind me, I'm sorry guys. I don't know where my rivets are. Copper. Gold. Gold. Copper. I really need to clean my room. I don't want extra large treasure. Are they already sitting in another project? That's a possibility too. The metal. I boxed up all my stuff, and I don't know where to put them. I've lost my antique brass rivets. Sorry, please hold. Be right there. Where are you? I've seriously lost my rivets. Huh. Anybody know what I did with my antique brass rivets? Are they in here? No. That is so bizarre. I've lost them. I guess I won't be putting my rivets on today because I don't know where they are. I found them. Yay! They were in my project. fridge. I know. What was it that I lost and they were in my fridge, Dawn? That was like last summer. What was it? Oh, that's hilarious. Okay, sorry guys. Yeah, for those that weren't in the class back then, I lost something and I ended up finding it in the fridge. I don't know. $15 minutes. Okay, I really want to get this gusset on so I can leave you guys with some homework. I'm really excited about February's classes. I mean, I'm always excited about all the classes, but really excited about February's just because we're doing some different things. It's going to be fun. And I'm really excited about my fabrics that I have chosen out for them. Did everybody go to the YouTube side and vote for which ones you want for March classes? Or March classes? Yeah, March classes. Okay, I'm going to press those in place. Those look so pretty. Ugh. If you don't have a rivet press, trust me, it is a really, really good investment. Like life-changing when it comes to bags. I used to avoid rivets and only use the expensive Chicago screws. Okay, so that's what my front panel looks like. Are you guys good if we move on to the gusset? Because we're running out of time. So you'll do the other connectors on the back for homework. Next, I may even change camera angles for you so you can see what I'm doing. We are going to take our gusset piece. We have our centers marked here. We're going to put it right sides together, matching up that center, just like we've done with any other gusset style bag. Clip it in place. And this is where you may want to clip the foam because you can see it gets kind of bulky there. I'm not going to worry about it. Just because I'm already using, if I was using a thicker vinyl, I would definitely be going ahead and trimming that up. So once you've got 3 clips or so in the bottom, you're going to bring the top up like so and match it. I'm going to trim my foam up here though because it's kind of outside of the thing. And I'm going to match it with the top of the main panel and put 3 or 4 clips there. And then once you've done a couple clips there, you're going to do the same with the other side and bring it up and match it up. And Dawn, once you get to this point, your fraying problems are almost over, except for along the top. But we won't get to that top part until next week. Okay. And now we're going to start evenly distributing that fabric all the way around. I like to do a few from the top and then some across the bottom. You like that, Wanda? That's good. Okay, so you can see how the gusset looks like it's too small to fit around the main panel. So just in the gusset, not in the main panel, in that curvy part, you're going to put like eighth of an inch snips. And what we're doing is we're making a straight piece want to become a round piece. So these little snips are going to make it so it will spread the fabric out in the gusset here, so we can get it around that corner. So you can see the snips there, and then when you bring it together and they flare out like that, it fits perfectly. Ta-da! And clip that in place. Use lots of clips around this corner. Now, when I go to sew this on, I have to switch to the other camera, and it's going to be a little awkward because I am going to have to switch camera views because I can only run 3 cameras at a time. And yeah, and get it all set up, but I'll do that here momentarily. So I'm going to do the same with the other, a couple down the side, some more along the bottom until it looks like it's just not going to go around anymore. See, looks like it doesn't fit again. We're going to make it fit with those little snips. It's like magic. I don't believe I sang an Elvis song to you guys. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I wonder if YouTube will flag that. I doubt it. Okay, and then it flares out, and look, it fits perfectly all the way around. And Wanda, the reason I can get the new angle is I bought a really, really long cord for the camera. It was quite costly, but the coffee account paid for it. So yay, thank you all the coffee donators, because I was able to buy that cable. Okay, so that's what it looks like. Now we're going to go and sew around here with a 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. Give me a minute as I move this camera into place so you guys can see what I'm doing. It'll probably take a moment to get there. Right angle, so it's going to look a little weird because I'm switching from, this is actually my Tommy camera, so I've just moved it over. So bear with me. I'm going to turn this one off and this one on, and I'm going to switch. You guys are going to, oh, don't look at my dirty garbage can. I know that light is kind of bright there. That's okay. Let me get the lighting right. Okay. How's that? Is that okay? I have to be careful not to get too close to my chair, otherwise I knock it. Okay. So now that we're there, we're going to go ahead and sew along here with a 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. Is that an okay view? Do I have it close enough? Can you guys see? You can see my dirty machine. Excuse me. All right. Now let's go sew that on. 3/8. Make sure you don't hit your hardware, but we should have enough clearance. It should be okay. Sometimes having a stiletto helps around that corner. You like that, Wanda? That's good. It's just a matter of having all the right equipment to be able to do it. I mean, the cables that come with the cameras aren't very long, and I wasn't even sure what would work. I put my son to work figuring it out for me. Okay, so you want to make sure as you're going that there's no nips or tucks in there. You want to be able to kind of use your sense of feel as you go around that corner. Use a stiletto to keep everything in place. I lost my fancy stiletto. Said my studio is a disaster. I just don't have time to get it clean. I got to catch up on 4 tutorials, and then I can start thinking about taking a day and just doing it. You guys can all see what I'm doing there? And breathe easy when you get to the flat section. Fix the clip. There's a lot of your sense of feel to make sure there are no nips or tucks in, or whatever they're called, in the gusset piece. Especially because we're working on the front side. It will definitely show. It'll show on the back side too, but not nearly as bad. everything. Okay, and once that's done, oh my goodness, Coco. Just like to go and kind of see if I need another row of stitching. You can tell if it looks like your stitches are stressed out. Mine don't look stressed out, so I'm not going to worry about another row of stitching. Depending on your vinyl, if you can see your stitches through the right side, through here, then go through again with another line of stitching and the seam allowance 1/8 of an inch in. I don't do that on every bag. I just kind of judge if that bag needs it. Okay? Let me switch back over. There we go. I don't remember if I'm supposed to trim just the curves. And then the curvy parts, that's the only part of the seam allowance we are going to trim. And I'm going to use my pinking shears. Okay. It's hard to go through all the interfacings and everything with that upholstery fabric. And then just kind of press around your seams, make sure everything was caught and there's no raw edges. And it kind of gives you an idea. You can see how the bag's going to look. It is super cute. I also must show you how perfect my thread matches this more leather, faux leather. Okay, so for homework, you're going to put the connectors on the other half at the exact same place that you put these ones, okay? And then you're going to take this once the connectors are on and you're going to sew it to the other side of the gusset. And then that'll be done. Now, is everybody comfortable preparing their main lining panels for homework as well? However you're doing your slip pocket and however you are doing your zipper pocket. I know we've been kind of doing that for homework to begin with. I'd like those to be done for next week as well, if you don't mind doing them. If you are somebody new, I know everybody that is here live with us has done the zipper pocket and the slip pocket the same way that I do it. But if you are new and you want to know how we do those ones, you can either check out my Bagmakers 101 playlist on the YouTube that shows how to do the overlays with the slip pocket and the zipper pockets, or you can go back to our April class. I don't remember which bag it was. Was it the Annette bag? I think it was the Annette bag, and we do a run through of how we do that in that class. Or you can message me and I will do a homework class next Thursday at about 1 p.m. and we can do them together. We just want to make sure that we're leaving the bottom of the zipper pocket open for when we finish it off. Is that okay with everybody? Does that work? Gotta let it catch up because I'm a little bit ahead. I can see I'm probably about a minute ahead of everybody else when I'm looking at the YouTube as to what I'm doing now. So attach connectors. Back connectors, lining pockets. And finish the gusset. Is that right? Because once we get all of this done, it's going to go together so fast next week. We'll probably have this done in 3 classes. It's similar to the Brooklyn class where it's just such a fast make, which is good because I got COVID. If we don't get through it all next class, we will be doing a makeup class, but I think we can get through it all. Diane, your machine just stopped working. What happened? Your Titan, or is it your other machine that your Juki? It is for you, but would need to hear from someone new. There's nobody new in the class, right? Well, there's a few new names, but They were actually here last month as well. Not that we did any classes. Who's new? Joanne and Laura and Linda. If you are tuning into this after the fact and you need help on how to do those pockets, either watch those tutorials or reach out to me via email or on Facebook, and I will definitely walk you through it. Oh no, you're tightened, Diane. Did your safety clutch maybe go off? What's it doing? You'll have to message me after. I'll see if I can help you through it. That's not good. Okay, so again, homework. Attach your back connectors. Finish connecting your gusset. And do your lining pockets. So that shouldn't take too long. If anybody needs a homework class learning how to do those things, please let me know prior to Thursday, because Thursday morning I actually go and I do my homework. So let me know by Wednesday if you need a homework class. That's Wednesday what is Wednesday? Wednesday the 25th. Holy cow, it's already the end of January. I wish it were July. And Diane, I hope you figure out what's going on with your Titan. You'll have to let me know what it was doing. So there we go. And it is 6 o'clock. We got lots done. So next class, what we will be doing is the channel connectors. Super fast to do. Assembling the lining, which is very similar to what we did here, except for we'll be leaving an opening in the bottom of the gusset, and I think our seam allowances are a little different. And then putting it all together and putting the frame in. Super fast. So I figured the first half hour, 45 minutes of next class will be the channels. We'll be doing that. And actually the first hour will probably be the channels and the lining, getting it all assembled. The last hour will be attaching the lining to the exterior and then putting in the frame. And then we're done. And of course putting on our straps. Sound good? Any questions before we go? We did good with time today. Any questions? Please, please, please go into the group on the Facebook side and share your progress so far. I would love to see what your bags look like. Dexter says hi. Kim, I want you to make it. I know you can do it. Good night, everybody. Tonight is Thursday. And, well, we all know it's Thursday, but Thursday night is Dave's Friday. So he should be home. If he's not home, I can't tell. It's too dark outside. And we're going out for dinner and to Costco. That's what we do every second Thursday. Yay. We actually haven't been to Costco since before New Year's because we both got COVID. So we're in desperate need of some groceries. All right. So thank you again, everybody, for coming. Again, get a hold of me during the week if you have any questions. Diane, I hope we can figure out what's going on with your machine. I said I'm headed out right now, but if you're having problems tomorrow, please do message me. I'm in studio all day and I'll try to help you through it. If not, we'll have to get a hold of Rodney. Maybe shoot me an email, Diane, just letting me know what it's doing, and I will see if I have an immediate answer for you, because I've had issues before and gotten through them. So I might be able to help you depending what is going on with your machine. All right, everybody. Anyways, have a great night. I will see most of you next Tuesday for Martini class, and everybody else I'll see on Thursday. I should be going live sometime this weekend or next week to announce the 10,000 subscriber draw that's going to be happening, because we're only 293 subscribers away from 10,000. So get all your friends to subscribe to my channel. Please, please, please. Anyways,